we brought the Attache with the scorpion tree shears. That's quite a miserable place to get in with a chainsaw and all that thorn, isn't it? So we're back on site again today with the Mus-max. That's some nice stuff. All this leaf on the brash, it looks a bit like maize coming out, doesn't it? So today we've got this dreadful mess to deal with. Big overgrown hawthorn hedge, willows, a lot of briars. It's a really horrible tangly place to get in there with a chainsaw, and there's a big ditch in the way. So cutting them down, dragging that brash and thorn and briar out of there, awful. So rather than climbing in there with a chainsaw and getting scratched to hell, we brought the Attache. You might have seen this on some of our earlier videos. So we've got the Attache 13 tonner, piped up with the scorpion tree shears. You'll have seen these before. Cal from Welder Faber came out, did a job on the 18 tonner for us. These little tips on here, a bit vulnerable from new. They bypass and help the blades bypass, but they can crack off. So when Cal came up, he welded them back on for us, put a little bit of extra strengthening in there. So far, so good. So I'm hoping we don't snap them tips today. You'll see it working in a minute. These big grippers open right out. They're on the same circuit as the big rams here, which do the cutting. So they'll close faster, quicker on the smaller rams, grip the tree, then the big shears come down and snip it off. These will go up to about 15 inches, which is a fair old bit of timber. As you've seen before, we've got a diverter valve on the top of the boom, so we can go from crowd to a second service, which gives us a tilt. So we've got crowd and tilt on the shears, so we can compound cut. Really, really handy feature of these. A lot of the other tree shears don't have that ability to be able to crowd around unless you've got a steel wrist. This makes it much easier to get into places. The negative, they're a blinking heavy set of shears. Got Paul over here as banksman. He's just keeping a little eye on that track, make sure there's no one walking or driving down that little farm track. We'll start snipping these off. So you can see opening the grab up now and the shears. That's just on the main service line of the machine. That's quite a miserable place to get in with a chainsaw and all that thorn, isn't it? So as we operate the hydraulic line now, gripping the tree, snipping through in a one. We're going to be coming and chipping these. We're going to be coming and chipping this up later with a big Mus-max. So I want to lay these down on a bit of an angle. So now I can crowd it over. I can just lay it on a nice angle there, ready for chipping. It's some tool, isn't it? Just for scale. It's a real decent capacity. Makes seriously light work of it. Imagine how scratchy it'd be getting in all those briars, all that thorn, trying to cut that lot out with a chainsaw. Even just felling it and then trying to grab it later would be awful. So the reason we're cutting all this stuff down is there's a ditch down there and it's just impossible to get in for access to be able to clean out. So copsing all this material off, we can get in there, clean the ditch out, then this can all be restored down the boundary later, or regenerate. So let's make a real short work of dismantling this willow. Like bits of stuff growing at all sorts of different angles. Just go in there like a compound cut like I was talking about earlier. Just get in there, just dismantle it all really easily. You'll notice here as well, whilst it looks a scruffy mess, I am just trying to leave all the butt ends in the same direction. When we come with a chipper then, at least we can just pick them up and they're all feeding the right direction to get them through into the infeed conveyor so we get more chopped up with the Mus-max. you go. Makes short work of it, doesn't it? A fair old pile of brash, quickly. If you've not got a really big chipper, then doing it like this creates a massive headache, because then trying to rework that and get through smaller chippers or whatever, log it out, you've got to go much slower. So having that great big Mus-max is ideal. So we can come down with that big 10-metre crane on it, pick that up, hose it through that big chipper really easily. Otherwise that'd be a horrible pile to deal with. But you know, it's a safe way of working. Got control of the trees, putting them down. There's a bit of decay in some of those willows. They've been difficult, dangerous trees to climb. You know, just get it down mechanically, get it gone. So we've copied that hedge off. Now I've got this awful mess to deal with. Again, another place that you don't really, unless you can avoid it, really want to go in with the chainsaw through all those briars, scrabbling around in that brash. So, back onto the tree shears. We're going to have an awful lot of stuff to chip up soon. So I'll start off with some of these sallows. Just pick up and position the material all in one direction. That fact that we've got that diverter to be able to do that crowding motion really helps you lay the material out all the same direction. If you hadn't got that, you'd have stuff dropping in all over the place. It makes it really difficult to chip. Pick up and then just rotate it round. Saves so much work on the crane when it comes to chip.
Certainly makes light work of it. There's a point sometimes where it's like, is there enough material to bother warranting bringing the big machine and tree shears? And today is definitely that point where I'm so pleased we brought them. Like, you've got a dead elder there, covered in ivy, surrounded by brambles. Taking it off with a chainsaw and small chippers take you longer than you'd think, but snipping it off, I know we're creating a big pile, dirty pile here, but the big chipper will make light work of that. I'm going to try to create enough of the decent clear path so we bring the tractor through, avoiding the stumps. This is quite a boggy site. It doesn't seem boggy at the minute, but it is. I can feel the whole site wobbling. We are blessed with this good weather, but it is set to turn on Sunday, I've just seen. Sunday it's going to get bad. Next week doesn't look brilliant, so it'd be nice if we could just get all this chipped up before the end of the week. It's hard to get the scale there. I hope it shows on the video. When you stop in an embankment, it is actually, I feel like I need to be on a chainsaw. It's almost as tiring stood here doing virtually nothing apart from just making sure everything's safe and sound. Sometimes hard not to actually pick up a saw and just get stuck in. I know my place today. Keep the site safe. Looking at the rear end of a digger isn't much fun. He's having a nibble at it. Is he taking it in a wanna? Oh.
So we're back on site again today with the Mus-max. All this stuff we tree sheared yesterday. Great big scruffy pile. We've fired that through now. So we've got the Mus-max on the 6R215. Paul's on the 6R185 with the NC silage trailer. Just going to chip into there. Just going to go through all this big nasty pile now. Get that hose through. Get the site nice and clear. One of the main reasons we bought this tractor, we went for a bit more horsepower than the 155 and the 185, was for powering this chipper. To be fair, the tractor's pretty well on top of it. Just set the infeed belt going now. You just saw earlier in the video when I was tree shearing this material, trying to lay all the butt ends in the same direction so I can just drag it forward. into the chipper nicely. Makes it much easier if you've laid the brash out all in the same direction. This big pal finger crane's 10 metres, I think, 10.5 metres. Loads of capacity. You need that reach when you're trying to stretch into some of these brash piles. That's quite a big bit of Willow. So on the really big stuff, the stress control will kick in, just stop that infeed momentarily to allow the rotor speed to be maintained, so it keeps on chipping. If I hadn't got that device on it, then I'm guessing on the real big pieces you'd stall the tractor for sure. Imagine how long it would take to chop that up into manageable pieces to get through the little toad or track chipper. It gives me particular joy chipping stuff like this big hawthorn here now that I'm picking up. This is the stuff that really scratches you and makes it really awkward when you're putting it through little chippers by hand. All the thorns on that just tears you apart a day of chipping that sort of stuff. Well, it's been going really well. Through nearly all the material that we got down yesterday. Just this last bit here. Paul's over there, he's just taking the last that little stand down. So there's probably an hour of chipping over there to do. We've just had a breakdown. So it's always when the going's good. Fortunately, I haven't got a spare pipe. I'll show you what's gone. So the pipes on these come down the centre of the boom that drive the rotator and the grab. Bend round here, come down and just join up. Only little short lengths. And they're quite well protected in here, but just like fatigue. Unusually for me, it wasn't like a major impact or anything or abusing something, it just, pipe just went pfft. So, we've got mobile hydraulics out here. We're going to replace both these pipes, because the other one looked a bit damaged as well. A bit tricky getting in here. Because it's tricky, it's easier to do them both while we're stopping. And hopefully that'll be future-proof. Sorted, just giving her a quick open and close and rotated, no oil leaks. Job's a good one. So if you need any mobile hydraulics and you're in the northwest, check out mrhydraulics.co.uk. We cover all around the northwest. Great service, they were here in absolutely no time. We're up and running again, and we've got some spare pipes to boot, so if we get any more problems, we can sort ourselves out. So we're back out for another day of extreme tree clearance. Got big Mus-max back on the Attache. Paul's on his way to site now. I'm just going to go and bang a load of this next load of sallows and willows and thorn down so I can get a head chipping, and then Paul's going to carry on the shears, do the next part of the site. Chipper's ace. It's like so chuffed for this. We've waited a long time to get one of these big crane-fed chippers. This year's been a cracking step forward for us, getting one of these big crane-fed chippers. In the words of a famous Yorkshireman, it's a beast. So, hope you enjoyed the footage. If you've not already, subscribe. Please hit the like, subscribe, drop us any comments, any questions you've got about any of the kit we're doing on this job or any other projects we're working with. Just drop them in the box below. We try and answer everybody's comments and questions. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. We're going to get some more of this lot knocked down, get it through the chipper. Feeling a load better today. Felt a bit down yesterday, I don't know why. I think we've just been so busy for so long. The team's been working really hard this week. Yuri's been banging the firewood out of the yard. Luke and Andy have been on a big fencing job. They've been fencing. You'll have seen on video earlier in the week where Paul and I are putting a gate up. We've been on a site over there doing 4,000 or 5,000 metres of fencing. So I'm hoping that's going to come to an end next week. By the end of next week, we should have that job knocked off as well. Just feels frantic. I think the time of year, we've had a dry summer, come into a dry autumn. We've just been cracking on and not had any of that sort of, I know wet days get us all down, but actually a few wet days now and again does give us a bit of chance to breathe, get in the workshop, do a bit of maintenance and just calm it all down. It just feels like it's been 110 mile an hour continuously. And but yeah, today I'm feeling much better and brighter. It's a Friday. I think that always gives you a bit of a lift at the end of the week, even though tomorrow I think I'm going to be working in the yard, but that's kind of different. So yeah, on top of the job, I think. Really pleased. This is going really well. Dead good yesterday. The lads getting out from HR Hydraulics. I think it's HR Hydraulics to get us up and going. We had very little downtime with that pipe burst. Got some spare ones here in the box now. This is quite handy, big toolbox. More kit needs to have big toolboxes, look at this. Spanners, spare blades, pipes, loads of gear in there. And what's nice about it, it's a big tough plastic thing, so it's not going to rust. So many boxes are like steel and end up getting rusty. But not only has it got the little lock on it, this safety bar, so that if that went jiggered or got whacked, it's not, yeah, that's a dead good little feature. I think more of our machines, implements, should have a big toolbox on them. Right, enough of that. I'm going to chop some more trees down because Paul will be here soon. Yeah, certainly got plenty of wood chip for the garden. It's a cracking chip, this chipper, so it's a biomass grade chip, sort of G50 screen with the chipper. Normally we harvest this and take it back with biomass or compost it down and use it as mulch. All this chip staying on this site, we're going to use it as a bit of a weed suppressant, try and keep some of these areas around the paths clear, just to sort of suppress the vegetation around here for a little while. So this is all going to get graded out next week. Otherwise, yeah, loads of chips. So this is quite a little tricky stool here. You see all this old sallow's fallen down, rerouted, all vertical material coming back up off these laterals that have fallen over. So you imagine getting in there with a chainsaw, loads of work in trying to cut that, pull the stuff out and untangle it and unpick it. We can get in there now with the shears and all that stuff can come out, pulled out dead easy, ready for the chipper. Much safer way of working. Yeah, when you turn up to a site like this, you really do feel on top of the job. And it also makes you feel like you're not going to have that strenuous a day and go back aching too much. When we go out with just the saws and small chippers, feel like day on day, dragging brash and chopping stuff down. At the end of a week, you're absolutely physically shattered. At least going out with this sort of kit, the hydraulics are doing most of the work. Just got to push the levers in the right way and it all happens around you. You don't go back absolutely shattered, aching to the bone. Can you tell I'm in a better mood today? I do feel a lot more relaxed. We just seem to be getting through some of the big lumpy projects. There's loads and loads of work ahead of us, but it just feels like we're managing, we're coping as opposed to firefighting, which is really, really nice. We've had such a lot of autumn activities to get done with the grassland restorations and the meadows and that sort of stuff that now we can just chip through under slightly less pressure, keeping the clients happy, which is the main thing. Let us all know how you're feeling. Are you feeling on top of the job? Are you feeling like you're still under a lot of pressure at the moment? There's quite a rig there, doesn't it, with all this sort of spouts and cranes and booms. Right, we'll fire the chipper up. We'll get all this lot I've just taken down, fired through. The crane works on the power beyond off the tractor. All the other hydraulic functions on the chipper are powered by the PTO. So obviously the drum going round, obviously on belts, and then hydraulics for the in-feed chute and conveyor and the out-feed chute. That's all done off its own hydraulic system on the chipper. So rev her up to start with, to working. She's running at high end of 1,000 PTO. Set the in-feed, you'll see now that sliding in-feed conveyor. She's start turning around now, it's just dragging the material in. You notice how it just keeps sort of helping it through. As we get up into these tops, lots of branches all different angles, just by grabbing hold of the brash, squeezing it together, it helps it just compress through into the in-feed chute. Makes it easy for the feed rollers then to grab it and drag it into the machine. That's some nice stuff. Longer, straighter stems. See how I start bunching those tops together now as it starts to head up the chute. It's gone through lovely. All this leaf on the brash, it looks a bit like maize coming out, doesn't it? It's a bigger bit going through now. It's really blasting some chip. It's getting quite hot in the tractor cab. You better turn the air conditioning down. Or up, as the case may be. You put air conditioning up or down? I don't know. I want it colder. It's getting warm in the tractor. The tractor's working quite hard. For scale, that's quite a big pile of chip. In what? Took me about 5 minutes. It's a mound, isn't it? Absolute mountain. Chip quality is really quite good. Despite the leafy material in there, it's a lovely chip. Keeping the blades sharp and keep swapping the blades out and having sharp blades all the time, it gets a really nice quality chip. Yeah, that's a great big conveyor that drags the material in with these little spiky bits. And the feed reel there. Paul's just trimming the last of the stuff there. Get a few more pieces through. Get a little bit of that green material. And the feed reel there that's just dragging it into the chipper. You get a bit of material caught round that, but as a decent log gets taken in, it gently pulls all that off. That feels done.